Today we're with Dan Kramer, who's running for U.S. Congress. We just learn a little bit more about him and let him introduce himself to us. Dan, good to meet you.
Thanks for having me here. I appreciate that. So my name is Dan Kramer. I'm running for the U.S. Congress as a Democrat in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. 7th District is one of the largest geographical districts in Tennessee. It goes from Montgomery County, Williamson County, all the way down to Giles County on the Alabama border, and then west to Hardeman County, 2 counties short of Memphis. Forms a large triangle. 19 counties altogether.
Okay. What about affordable housing? I know it comes up with the housing and urban development. A lot of times the budget's being cut a lot. They're cutting home funds, they're cutting CDBG funds. That's really important to a lot of people because those programs help a lot of candidates who are, we would say, not disadvantaged.
They need a hand up.
Yeah, but need help up. But those programs are there for those, and
exactly.
The budget's getting cut.
Well, let me talk about that. So we have this, there's a basic philosophy that comes out of the GOP these days, conservative thought, that says we're spending too much in government, we need to slash spending so we save money. The only problem is every bit of government spending you slash is somebody's job. So if you slash workers from a government agency because you think big government's the problem, well then you just put people out of work. So the best way to get all of this, if you want to help people get off welfare, if you want to help people get off food stamps, if you want to cut the budget you're spending on housing subsidies, food stamps, all these welfare programs, well, they need more people at work, and you need more people getting a living wage at their job. So if you want less people getting housing subsidies, more people to be able to afford their own homes, then they need to be provided, or they need to have the opportunity to go find a job that pays them enough. And the first step of that is the minimum wage. We've seen the minimum wage is frozen for years and years and years. How is it the minimum wage hasn't changed in 8 years, and yet the price of a McDonald's hamburger has gone up 30%? Well, if the price of the food's going up 30% and we're not paying the workers anymore, we know where that money's going to. It's in the record profits you're seeing in McDonald's, Walmart, all these large corporations. So if we don't let the minimum wage keep up with inflation, if we don't have a wage where someone who works for 40 hours a week can come home and have enough money to feed and clothe and house their family, then you're forcing people into poverty, which means then they become dependent on the government. So it's frustrating me when I hear people saying we need to cut the deficit by stop spending money on food stamps. Well, you don't stop having hungry people by taking their food away. The way you get rid of hungry people is you make sure that they have a place to work and you pay them a fair living wage. So all of those things all come into the basic premise of you need to make the economy work. The America needs to work for working Americans, not for hedge fund managers who sit around and pay 8% income tax on their billions of dollars.
Good. And I know one of the other questions that's very important nowadays is bipartisanship. A lot of times we see that come into play, and it's kicked around a lot.
I apologize for the eye roll. Yeah, it comes up a lot. So I was 26 years in the Army. I've been to a million meetings. Well, maybe that's an exaggeration. I've been to lots of meetings. You sit around the table with everybody, the important people in the unit, and you discuss what you're going to do, and everybody has an idea of what the plan of action should be, but in the end, the decision is made, this is the way we're going to go. And then everybody goes that way. The genius of the U.S. government, the genius of the Constitution our forefathers gave us, is it is designed to be used by people who disagree. It doesn't assume that everybody in the government will all agree on everything. So the system is set up so that the people who have disagreements still have an opportunity to have their input into the system. And at the same time, because they have a contribution to it, they become loyal to the decision that's made and to the direction that you're going to go. And that's what we're lacking right now. We have a subsection, a very small minority, who's using the politics of the 2-year-old, where they don't get what they want, so they're going to hold their breath and scream in the middle of the grocery store, so nobody can get their groceries, their grocery shopping done. And that's what we need to get over with. It's the difference between hiring politicians and hiring job creators, real job creators, people who've done jobs, people who've led people, veterans, people who've had real work experience. And that's what's missing right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.